right, good afternoon everyone. I'm a bit of a faster talker than Edward, so stop me if I'm talking too fast. So thank you to everyone for being here. It's very exciting to be part of the first XRPL meetup in Australia. Thank you to the Avolo Hotel for having us, Ripple for sponsoring the event, and of course to Edward and Sandra and the Additions team for hosting. So we'll be together for the next 20 minutes, and in that time I'd like to introduce you to both myself and the Schmeckles project. Then if there's time we'll have a quick Q&A. But if there's no questions or you're a bit too shy, then feel free to come up to me afterwards. I'm going to stick around for a few drinks, so I'm very approachable. But before we get started, I'd like to begin with acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Turrbal people of the Turrbal Aboriginal Nation. I pay my respects to you, as well as the elders past, present and emerging. So my name is James Ray, or James Ray XRP, for those in the Twitter sphere, and I'm the co-creator and project lead for Schmeckles. I was born and raised in Australia and truly believe we are blessed to be part of this great land. I studied a civil engineering degree at Sydney University and went on to work in client-side project management in the construction industry. And during this time, I had the opportunity to work with multiple clients like the Department of Defence and Virgin Airlines, and on multiple projects in the multi-millions of dollars. So more recently, I've been managing the delivery of optic fibre across Australia. However, I'm lucky enough now to pour heaps of time into Schmeckles, as of Monday particularly. So very excited for the future. And now a little left of centre, in my career also studied and worked in the mental health space. And it's really helped me to understand some of the complexities of the human mind, but more importantly, I've learned the importance of taking care of our mental health. So what is mental health? Mental health is not mental illness. In fact, we all have mental health just like we have physical health. I find it easy to think of mental health on a spectrum like the one up on the screen. So some days we have good days and some days we have bad days. And in order to overcome that bad mental health, we need to give ourselves some self-care by doing things like practicing mindfulness and gratitude, or using self-soothing techniques like physical exercise, breath work, writing in a diary, or talking openly with friends and family. But sometimes our mental health gets so bad that we need intervention, and these are the times we need to reach out to professionals, simply talking to a doctor, seeking services like psychologists, counsellors or psychiatrists, or of course there's many charities doing great work like Lifeline, Suicide Callback Service, Beyond Blue and the Black Dog Institute, just to name a few. And of course in the absolute worst times, we all know 000 emergency services, they're all trained in mental health first aid, and they'll be able to help with mental health triage. So to bring it back to why we're here, the cryptocurrency market can be one that's very volatile. Furthermore, we all know the world of Twitter and the internet is full of toxic people. So we've all felt the impacts of down times. We've all felt the impacts of toxic people and trolls. At times it's critical we step away from those screens and we remember that there's so much more to life than just the charts and just Twitter. It's important that we're diligent with our mental health in order to be the best people that we can be, but more importantly, to be content with our lives. Today we are here to celebrate the XRP ledger. So I'd like to take it back to 2017 when I was first introduced to cryptocurrency after my little brother was raving about this great company called Ripple and their fast and green digital asset called XRP. It wasn't long before I was hooked and obsessed, you may say. My research went far and wide, from chatting to people in my network, leveraging off the endless content on Google, and eventually becoming a member of one of the greatest forums known to man, XRP.com, or XRPchat.com I should say. And this is where I learned so much and began to truly understand crypto. So let's take a minute or two to reflect on some of the lessons that I learned, because some people here tonight may not be as crypto savvy as the rest of us. So the first lesson I'm sure you're all familiar with: not your keys, not your crypto. It's also known as not your keys, not your coins. For those new to the space, this can be broken down simply. If you do not hold the private key for the location your crypto is stored, it's at the mercy of those at the wheel. An example of this is a cryptocurrency you have sitting on a centralized exchange. If that exchange was to fall over, what happens to your crypto? The simple answer is, get your cryptocurrency off centralized exchanges as soon as possible. I can see some nods in the crowd, so that's awesome. So where should your crypto go if not on a centralized exchange? The answer is a cold wallet, and that is point number 2. Anyone with a significant investment in cryptocurrency should purchase and utilize a cold wallet storage device like a Ledger hardware wallet. And while there's some great apps out there, like the Zum wallet, offline is the most secure place for your crypto to be. So point 3 speaks for itself. Your keys are private and they're for your eyes only. You should be extremely cautious whenever an individual or organisation requests your private key, because that's like them asking for your password or your PIN number. So point number 4, do your own research, particularly in a space like the XRP ledger where there's new projects popping up every day. It's really easy to get a project onto the XRPL, so you have to be extra vigilant. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Make sure you employ a healthy amount of skepticism. Ensure that you're investigating the projects before putting your hard-earned money into them. Learn as much as you can before making a decision to purchase, and treat all of your crypto investments just like you would any other financial purchase in life. Move away from being impulsive and move towards being diligent and fact-driven. Point 5 takes me to a reference from a controversial figure, Richard Dawkins. Dawkins defines memes as cultural ideas that spread and repeat themselves across society. Now, if we add the internet to that definition, we have modern-day memes or internet memes, which are tools used to define emotion, feeling, and thought. They're a form of expression that goes far beyond language alone. They're a cultural and artistic movement that have found a home in cryptocurrency. While speculating on memes is not everyone's cup of tea, there's no denying the considerable impact they have had on modern day. So whether you like it or not, memes are here to stay. So finally, point number 6 is to know what you hold. This lesson can be explained in many ways, but my favourite 2 interpretations are to firstly know why you hold the crypto so you can explain it to friends and family, but more importantly, to stay on top of project developments, because cryptocurrency world is changing every day as technology changes and as governments attempt to define how to regulate them. Furthermore, projects can change direction at the drop of a hat. A project that was founded with a significant purpose may change its trajectory and leave you holding nothing. So we've all seen these projects fall from everything to nothing in a matter of days. So it's critical we stay informed and continue our research well after our crypto purchase is made. And on that note, I think it's time we introduce Schmeckles. So the Schmeckles project was first thought in October 2021 and was founded the month after in November, making us 8 months young. The idea was initially for a meme token that was dedicated to the fans of the adult cartoon Rick and Morty. A limited supply of tokens that would allow fans to own their own bag of Schmeckles that they could keep, sell, swap, use to tip, purchase merchandise, and more. But creating a token was just the beginning. The Schmeckles project offers a place for Rick and Morty fans to come together and talk about the show, engage in trivia, as well as share and create memes. As time went on, we also added other fun features like free-to-play games and art competitions, but a little bit more on that later. So first, let's address the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Ripple It in NZ. What's a Schmeckle? Well, a Schmeckle is an old Yiddish word, and I'm going to leave that meaning to you guys to Google later on. It's also a word that features in many Hollywood films like Adam Sandler's Click, but it's a word that's used to define a fictional currency within one episode of Rick and Morty, which is episode 5 of season 1 to be exact. And while the word is humorous, as is the show, we believe the name to be so strange it would stick in people's minds. But we wanted Schmeckles to be more than just a laugh. We wanted it to be a community-built and driven project that not only offers an XRPL token, but a place for members to enjoy themselves, get creative, and embrace their inner child. These goals have been brought to fruition and will continue to strive towards these into the future. So while our project is small, we are dedicated to doing the right thing, as well as striving to protect our community members from foul play. For this reason, we are registered as an Australian business, have conducted a non-compulsory audit with XRPL Assurance Services, and we are a founding member of the Block. To speak of the Block, or the Blockchain Leadership Oversight Council, would take me 20 minutes alone. So to quickly summarise, we're a group of blockchain leaders and projects that have come together to hold each other to a higher standard, as well as to share ideas and lessons learned, to celebrate projects striving for improvements, whether regulatory, technological or otherwise, and to provide education to the public. It's a great initiative, and if you want to be a part of it, just reach out to us by sending a DM to Block Oversight on Twitter. I also want to quickly discuss XRPL Assurance Services, but before I do, I just want to address the 2 logos on the screen. So the little one you can see is taken directly from the Rick and Morty cartoon, and the bigger one is our interpretation of that. So we have the official rights to that logo, which is really cool, and it's really our biggest call to fame with the Rick and Morty official team. So we have that logo on a number of merch, which you can purchase using your Zum wallet from our website. And you can also buy it with Schmeckles just by giving us a holler. So as mentioned before, the Schmeckles project has passed an audit conducted by XRPL Assurance Services, and this audit covers the 10 items on the screen. It requires a project to score at least 70 points to pass and is completely voluntary, as well as free, and can provide projects and communities with confidence and reassurance in their teams. So I'd like to take this opportunity to quickly step you through the first 4 items to show you how simple it can be to score 70 points. Being KYC'd, having a global ID, and being docked is something that all the projects here today could quite easily achieve. That's 10 points in the bag. So number 2, project wallets review. This is where we've seen a lot of projects fall over and become unstuck. So if your project has any nefarious activity, that's where it's going to be found. If you've got nothing to hide, you're already halfway there with 35 points though. So step 3, token use cases and utility. So even if your project has absolutely no use case, the beauty about being on the XRPL is there's great services like Chi Money or Chai Money. So Chai Money allows you to use your tokens to purchase gift cards as well as donate to charity. So you can do that with your Schmeckles, and it's not too hard, just get in contact with their team. So whether you're through the services of Chai Money or through your own offerings, you've already found yourself with 55 points. So finally, point number 4, a simple live, private or public video with the XRPL Assurance Services team will get you to that 70 points and help you build confidence in your community. All right, I'm just going to have a quick break, have a quick drink of water. Please add us on Twitter if you don't have us already, and if you want to add that trust line, it's up on the screen through that QR code. I see some phones coming out, so I'll give you a quick few seconds. Awesome, thanks guys. All right, so let's get stuck into some of the hard facts about Schmeckles. So we have over 16,000 trust lines, over 14,000 holders, and over 9,000 Twitter followers. We did not offer an ICO, but instead we chose to distribute 75% of our tokens to the community. So as you can see, we've done 2 airdrops. They're both complete now. And we're doing another 25% through giveaways, which we still hold about 100,000 tokens for. So we initially started with 1 million tokens in the Schmeckles project, and that's slowly diminishing, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And if you have set our trust line, please have a chat with me after the show, because I'll make sure that you walk away here with some Schmeckles in your bag. So the final 25% of our tokens are purposed for the project team and project developments. Of this, some have been used to pay the team, and some were sold to fund our listing on the Swift exchange, where you can swap your Schmeckles for over 300 other crypto assets. Of the 250,000 tokens set aside for the project, there are still over 78% of this remaining for future developments. 2 statistics down the bottom that you might find strange is that the project has taken 0 profit and that none of the payments to the devs have been cashed out. While this is not necessary, it's just a small example of the team's commitment to the project's success. Ultimately, while we're working towards a profitable future, we are here because we want to be here. The Schmeckles project gives us an amazing opportunity to connect with the XRPL community, to collaborate with the projects like the ones here tonight, to learn more about the amazing technological advancements in the space, to network with some of the world's greatest minds, but most of all to remind people that life can be enjoyable and fun. Memes, GIFs, cartoons, art, connection, music, fun and humour are just as important as money. These things brighten up our days and provides nourishment for our souls. But that's not to say the project isn't doing well. We are trading with the positive price movements in this quarter and have entered into many collaborations with the XRPL projects. So one of these collaborations is the Reaper project, and I'm sure it's one you've all heard about. So we've recently been added to their list of approved projects, and to date we have been part of 3 reapings, with this weekend marking the 4th. To quickly explain how this works, the Reaper project puts 20 approved tokens to a public blockchain vote and then uses the results of the vote to determine how much of the token is purchased at market value and then burned. Of course, there's so much more to this, but we'll leave that for you with your own research. So the relationship with Reaper, as well as other projects like Zoj and Denari, means that Schmeckles' supply is diminishing. Of our initial 1 million token supply, approximately 1% has been burned, and with this setup, our already small market supply is getting smaller and smaller. But this is not where our collaborations end. We've also connected with projects like OnXRP, where we'll be hosting our XLS20D NFTs, XRP Junkies and Park through our giveaways, Zerpcraft with our very own Schmeckles land that you can visit, XLemmy, who wrote and recorded a Schmeckles song, and so many more projects like Leo Kings, Denari, Too Cold Coin, Gorillas Gold, Becky Token, X Linden, Treasury, and so many more. One standout is Zoj, the Zoj project, and has become a great friend of Schmeckles. So much so that Schmeckles exists within their Zoj Moon Wars game as not only one of the strongest racers, but also as a purchasable shield and a Schmeckles spaceship. And it's a really fun game that I've personally had to pull myself away from a few times. And it's something that I recommend you give a go. But of course, Schmeckles also has a game or two of our own. So the Schmeckles project has created 3 games to date with more to come. The first is not pictured, and it's a very basic Space Invaders spin-off. The game was created from scratch in Unity with the sole purpose of being a playable music video. The song it was created for is called Cosmic Breakdown by an Australian artist called Daniel in the Lion Den, who also features on our second game, which is pictured up on the screen. So that one's called Darts. And in that game, you throw darts at a spinning board, attempting to hit as many Schmeckles as you can. But there is a catch. The gentleman in the middle, his name is Gary. You may recognize Gary from somewhere. And while you're not meant to hit him, we're not going to stop you from doing as you will. So if you defy the rules, it could potentially serve as a great stress relief for the stress that's been caused by the Rippleverse SEC court case.